Now, we have seen cars and autos running on CNG for, I don't know, well over a decade, correct? And I haven't seen, at least personally, I haven't witnessed any of these cars catch fire because of CNG. Got it. But we have witnessed hundreds of electric scooters catch fire.
Hello and welcome back to today's podcast. And we have a special topic to cover today. We have a special motorcycle, right? Because why?
Absolutely.
So it's called the Bajaj Freedom 125. This is a first in class, the first in the world CNG uh, powered motorcycle. I think it's running on CNG and petrol as well. So it's a
Yes.
very unique motorcycle because why? And I mean, what's your first impression about it when you heard that it's going to have LPG cylinder below your?
But, yeah.
Anyways, so what's your view on that?
So, buddies, you know what? Bajaj always brings in surprises. And this definitely has been, I would say, an interesting surprise. Okay. Because the whole world, on one hand, is going towards lithium ion powered electric vehicles. And Bajaj launched something which is completely on the different side, that is CNG and gasoline powered. So, dual fuel two wheeler. And well, I'll let you know what I feel about it. But, brother, you go ahead and ask those questions which people have on their mind right now, with regards to the motorcycle.
So
Mhm.
let's the spec sheet. Let's go through a spec sheet first. So
Yeah.
it's the max power that it's producing is 9.5 PS at around
Hmm.
8,000 RPM. And the
All
max
right.
torque is kind of similar to that, like it's
Mhm.
9.7 Nm of torque at 5,000 RPM.
All
So
right.
it's kind of comparing like
Basic,
close to the 150
very
cc.
basic power. Yeah. Hmm.
Absolutely.
But 150cc these days produce decent numbers, right? Like much higher numbers. Yeah.
So I think they
See
are
again.
targeting this just for the commuters, maybe, right?
Correct. Absolutely. Now, what is the CC of this motorcycle?
So it's 125 cc. And
Oh.
I'm just going through the page. There's not much
Hmm.
like too much detail on the Bajaj website as well because it's very
Hmm.
uh, glitchy. So they should take this as a feedback. Okay, so here I got it. It's a
Yeah.
four-stroke air-cooled, and they haven't mentioned uh, too much specification about the engine as well.
Yeah. That's okay. It's a straightforward engine, and any uh, internal combustion four-stroke engine which can run on petrol can also run on gas. Okay. So, my first perception about this motorcycle is that, well, it has been targeted towards people who ride about 100 to 200 kilometers every single day. And uh, there is a increasing number in people who are using their motorcycle for professional purposes. It could be for food delivery, it could be for parcels delivery, or any of the logistics. So, uh, people are being employed in this industry and they need a two wheeler. So if they use a gasoline powered two wheeler, of course, gasoline, that is petrol, is not economical, 110 rupees a liter. And if they use electric powered, then the biggest issue is that they will run out of battery power in about 60, 70 kilometers. No matter what the electric vehicle companies claim, they can say we have 200 range, but they will still run out of battery power in about 70, 80 at the most. Correct? So now the charging time will at least take 4 hours most of the time. So it is not going to be feasible for them to use an electric two-wheeler for logistics purposes, that is food delivery, parcels delivery, or any of that. So in that case, having a CNG powered motorcycle where the fuel itself is way more economical than gasoline. Correct?
Correct.
What is the
What is the
price of
price of
CNG? I
CNG? I
personally
personally
never
never
Uh,
filled
filled
I'll
CNG in
CNG.
any
just
of the
look it up
vehicles.
because yeah, it's 89 rupees per kilogram in Kolkata,
Kilogram.
right?
All right.
So now I don't know what will be that fuel efficiency compared to per liter. Like for an example, a 125cc motorcycle running on petrol probably will get you about 60 to 70 kilometers a liter. At least take 60 on the safer side. If a motorcycle which is 125cc running on petrol is giving you 60 kilometers
Yeah,
per 1 liter of petrol, then how much will we get? How many kilometers can this motorcycle run on 1 kg of CNG is the question.
I'm just
Do you
checking
have
it.
any
Okay,
ideas?
yeah, it's showing a range of 200 kilometers. So it has 2
Oh,
kilograms of CNG, like you can fill up. So
okay.
that's 100
So for
kilometers per
2
kilogram,
kgs, oh, okay, got it. So
right?
2 kgs is the maximum CNG you can carry in the tank, and 200 kilometers is the range.
Right.
So 100
So
per kg. Now again, 200 is what Bajaj is saying. So
that
let's.
could be like 180 something maybe,
I'm taking 80 per kg, so probably 160 is the range.
right?
Got it. So, but again, range anxiety is not an issue here because you can also use petrol. Correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But again, the economy factor would be gone the moment you move to petrol. Although on petrol also, I'm sure this motorcycle would be very economical. But
And
for someone who's using it for food delivery or for any reason, I mean, I would
right,
love to use it. You know, it is not that only food delivery or logistics business people
right.
should use it. I would love to use it. It's always nice to save some money and use that money in better purposes in life. Uh,
Actually,
yeah, but here the concern would be that the moment you're done 160 kilometers on CNG and the gas is empty, then finding CNG gas stations is not going to be easy. And even if you find CNG gas station, there'll be a long queue most of the time. Am I correct?
absolutely. It's I have seen it in real life. There's a
Yeah.
huge queue, at least like 30, 25 vehicles.
Vehicles stay correct. So because autos run on CNG, and and many cars run on CNG, like taxis and all of that. So a person who's filling 2 kgs of CNG into his motorcycle will probably have to wait for 20 minutes or even more than that during peak hour traffic. So that is something which has to be considered.
Some infrastructure, changes that needs to be made.
Yeah, yeah. So, but again, definitely I have to appreciate Bajaj for launching a motorcycle like this.
Could have launched an EV electric Pulsar as well, right? It's possible, but they did not.
Please don't do that. Please don't launch an electric Pulsar. So, yeah. So, as a product, I do appreciate uh, what Bajaj has done.
So, Vikas bhai, suppose I want to buy a daily commuter, whatever be my, like, wherever I want to go. So, it will just be a daily commuter, and I want some decent, mileage from it. And I'm concerned about the safety of this motorcycle. So, do you have any like insights about this? Because this is totally new. Although Bajaj has tried and tested it already from like I think
Mhm.
past 1.5 or 2 years or more than that. So
Very good question. Now, when you're talking about safety, you're concerned about the CNG gas, correct? Okay. So now let me compare the safety matter directly to electric scooters or electric two-wheelers. So compared to an electric two-wheeler, a CNG powered motorcycle is at least 90+% safer. No question about that. Now we have seen cars and autos running on CNG for, I don't know, well over a decade, correct? And I haven't seen, at least personally, I haven't witnessed any of these cars catch fire because of CNG. Got it. But we have witnessed hundreds of electric scooters catch fire. So, on a straightforward basis, a CNG powered two wheeler would be way safer compared to an electric scooter or an electric motorcycle. And next, people would say, but what about an accident? In case a motorcycle meets with an accident, won't the cylinder explode? No, cylinders don't explode like that. Okay. In case you meet with an accident, unfortunately, and the cylinder has a puncture, the gas will basically go out. It'll go out into the atmosphere. It's not like movies where you shoot a gas cylinder and it explodes. It does not happen like that. For gas to explode, it has to be compressed. If gas is not compressed, it could catch fire, but it will not explode. So explosion is out of question. Yes, it can happen in very, very rare scenarios where there is some excessive pressure put onto the cylinder, and then the gas compresses and it is released because of a puncture, and it's released in explosive compression state, and then it catches fire. But it's a very, very rare scenario. And I believe Bajaj already did some kind of a test where they put 10 tons onto this motorcycle, and still the cylinder was safe. So that answers it.
The safety is like, the safety concern is out of the question now. So I think, Vikas bhai, maybe somebody who wants an EV for a commuter, like to get, like a cheap, to decrease their travel cost or something like that. So I think this will be an amazing option for them. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. See, I have been an advocate of electric vehicles since the time they were available in our country. Okay, I mean, I'm talking about the two-wheelers. But unfortunately, I'm not very happy with the progress of the technology and the electric charging stations, infrastructure, any of these matters. No, okay, it has been close to 10 years. And unfortunately, a lot of, I want to use this word, crap brands are coming in, calling themselves electric two-wheelers. All that they're doing is getting battery from somewhere, getting the motor from somewhere, and simply assembling them. I mean, nothing wrong in assembling. Okay, computers are assembled, correct? Even great brands like Dell computers, they assemble their computers. They don't make the motherboard, they don't make the hard drive, they don't make the processor. But when you assemble, as a company, you have to make sure that you're putting together the best quality parts. But as I said, many crap brands got into the EV industry, and they are simply assembling parts from anywhere they can find for very cheap cost and calling themselves an EV company. So because of which EVs have been catching fire. The batteries, which are supposed to last for about 7+ years, are not even lasting for 3 odd years, and the range is coming down to less than 50%. So I have worked on lithium ion batteries personally for many of my engineering projects. So I do have considerable knowledge in this. So now I have basically stopped vouching for EVs. Okay. If we need fuel efficiency, or basically if we need economy, okay, then EV is not even a concept, because first of all, you are spending considerable money buying an EV scooter, almost 2 lakh rupees, right? Okay. Yeah. So it is nothing to do with economy. All right. Okay. So in economy, there is something called ROI, return on investment. How much money you put in, and how much return are you getting in. Okay, so if I have to commute for 100 plus kilometers every single day for whatever purpose, and if I go and buy an electric scooter by spending 2 lakh rupees, when will I recover that 2 lakh rupees? Okay, because I can instead go and buy a used pre-owned 100 or a 150cc motorcycle, okay, which is about 10 years old, and I can buy it for 15-20,000 rupees and do up the whole motorcycle for another 5-6,000 rupees, including the engine rebuild. And 1 liter of petrol will get me 50 to 70, kilometers, right? Depending if it's a 100cc or a 150cc. So my 20,000 rupees will recover within a few months, depending on my salary and how much I'm earning from whatever.
So Vikas bhai, if I had to ride 100 kilometers a day and I want to save money, so instead of getting an EV, what options would you suggest me?
If I had to ride 100 kilometers a day for my profession, I would never buy an EV because it has nothing to do with economy anymore. In economy, there is something called ROI, return on investment. So if today I have to buy an electric vehicle, which is a two-wheeler, I'll at least be spending about close to 2 lakh rupees. And when will I actually recover that 2 lakh rupees? So instead, I would go and buy a 10-year-old 100 or a 150cc motorcycle. And even with the engine rebuild and everything, I'll only be spending about 15,000 to 25,000 rupees. And that two wheeler can get about 60 kilometers a liter. So that way, I will recover that 20,000 rupees in about 2 months from my profession. So I would not buy an EV and buy a 10-year-old motorcycle.
So Vikas bhai, the interesting part about this motorcycle is the price. I mean, it's priced pretty close to a normal 125cc itself.
Correct.
So I think in Hyderabad, I've just checked, the price will be around 1,25,000 on
On
road.
road, you're talking about.
Right,
Yeah.
on road. So what do you think about this if we compare it to other alternatives like electric vehicles?
Well, the closest electric vehicle, which is a motorcycle, is that Revolt, correct? I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So, so now, see, that motorcycle on road will be close to 2 lakh rupees, correct? And this one is close to, the ex showroom is 1,10,000. That's what you said, correct? So, even if we roughly add another 15,000 or so, it will be about 1,25,000. So, straightforward, we are saving 60, 70, 80,000 rupees. Yeah, up front, man. I mean, if I simply take that 60 to 80,000 rupees, put it in my bank, do a fixed deposit, or compounding interest would be about 8 to 10%. Okay, so I mean, why would I buy an electric vehicle where the range would be about 70-80 kilometers at the most and charge it for 4 hours, and then again in about 6 to 7 years the battery will need replacement and all of that, beat my head around it? I would simply go buy this Bajaj CNG motorcycle and save all that money and don't have to deal with unnecessary software on my two-wheeler, and software updates. Sometimes it doesn't work. What all nonsense we had to face with our Ola scooters, right?
This motorcycle is actually, if you have seen the picture of it, Vikas bhai, it has an enduro seat. That's the very different design element that I'm seeing right now.
It looks decent. It doesn't look like one of those motorcycles where, I really don't have any money, so I'm buying this motorcycle. No, bechara look nahi hai. It
It's
doesn't
not a
look like,
broke kind of a like a
Yeah.
cheapskate motorcycle.
Correct.
I mean,
You
I
know,
would love
I mean,
to travel and commute on this, the way it's designed. So yeah, and another thing is that the trellis frame of this motorcycle, Vikas bhai, has been designed in such a way that it is actually protecting the that cylinder, that CNG cylinder?
Basically, the frame of the motorcycle is acting like a rib cage. Okay, where our rib cage, the sole purpose is to protect our lungs and heart, the internal organs here. So in case there is an impact, someone gives a hard punch, the rib cage is going to stop that impact from going through and puncturing our lungs or our heart. So the same way, the frame of this motorcycle is protecting the cylinder or the CNG cylinder.
Right. Rather, one more point I have missed. I'm just
Mhm.
going through the website. So
Mhm.
there's a 2 kilogram of CNG cylinder, right? And
Hmm.
the petrol tank is also 2 kg. So Bajaj is claiming that it is giving 200 from the CNG and
Hmm.
160 from the petrol tank. So I think that's
So they're
close to
claiming 80 per liter.
right. So that's good,
Bajaj.
very good mileage. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good number. So
Hmm.
just being in the safe side, even if your CNG runs out, you will have at least 1 or 2 liters of fuel, petrol, and you can continue your work. You don't have to wait for
I mean,
hours charging.
correct. This motorcycle will sure get you 60 or 65 a liter of petrol. So you're covered.
All right, brother. So that was about this motorcycle, and I have another concern is that how will this motorcycle be safe for the environment?
All right. Now, since we've been talking about electric vehicles and comparing them with this Bajaj CNG two-wheeler, let me tell you one thing straight out. The Bajaj CNG two-wheeler would be about 10 times more environmentally friendly because, see, the lithium ion powered electric vehicles don't produce any smoke, but they don't produce smoke when you're riding them. However, enough smoke was produced beforehand when that lithium was being mined. Got it? So, this is a natural product that you get from Mother Earth. So, massive, huge trucks, excavators have to go and dig the ground and then take out the deposits of lithium and then process it and then make the cells and make the lithium ion batteries. So in order to do that, the mining companies run massive generators, trucks. I mean, many of these trucks don't even give 1 kilometer per liter. Got it? So all the smoke was already produced beforehand, and now you are getting a battery. So probably a electric scooter which runs for 80 kilometers on a full charge would already have burnt thousands of liters of diesel to be produced. You got it? So yeah, even before you actually start using the EV, thousands of liters of diesel was already burnt to mine it. And then even the factories which produce the lithium ion batteries, they also run on different kind of what to say, gas, or could be diesel, or could be thermal power. Yeah, where is thermal power coming from? You're burning coal. Okay, so uh, electric vehicles are nowhere close to being environmentally friendly. The only thing is that in your city, if electric vehicles are running, then you won't see smoke in your city. But it is not about protecting only your city, correct? It's about protecting the planet altogether. So now, when we are comparing the Bajaj CNG motorcycle, here there is no baggage that is coming with it, correct? Yeah, when I say baggage, that means while producing the motorcycle, thousands and thousands of liters of diesel was not burnt. Earth was not mined, correct? So you are getting a motorcycle where it has an empty cylinder where you can fill CNG only when you use. And if you're not using, that's not a problem. But lithium ion battery, if you're not using, Still, the damage was already done.
Don't even think of EV. There's such a good option produced and made finally by an Indian manufacturer.
Correct.
And even the service cost will be very cheap.
So, bottom line, when it comes to being environmentally friendly, CNG is the way to go and not EV. And also, when CNG burns, it burns very clean. You got it. It's compressed natural gas.
So that's all, everyone. And if you have any questions, you can first follow us on Instagram, and then you can comment the question that you want to ask. We'll be happy to cover it in future podcasts.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any suggestion for this podcast, we'll be happy to, take your feedback and suggestion. So that's all for today. We'll see you in the next podcast.
Thank you, buddies.